Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Higher Learning Channel podcast. I'm Matthew Sire.
I'm Ginzilla, and you could find us at higherlearningchannel.com, and you can find me at Ginzilla on Twitter. Where can we find you, Matt?
My Twitter handle is SIGHR_.
So what have you been up to, man?
Nothing really, just being dumb. So this is kind of lame. I got an iPad, right? But what it got me thinking about was that I'm like way late. I've never touched one really before I got this. So like, it got me thinking about all the kids I see using it, and that's what tripped me out. Cause like, there's kids that are like 2 years old that are on these pads, and as I was trying to learn it, I was like, man, they're learning this shit. Like, it's hard. It's getting hardwired. As much as computers were, like, I grew up with computers. I didn't really, but
yeah. Now
this is like early computer. You know, them messing with computers.
Yeah.
And then it got me thinking maybe there's gonna be some sort of backlash once that generation gets to be a teen, where they're like, man, fuck that. I don't want to be on any sort of social network thing, or even, you know, deeply connected like we are right now.
Well, for some reason, to be honest, you know, if you think like that's bad with the iPad, I find it like darker when I see like children that young with cell phones. To me, I feel like that's worse. I feel like an iPad's a little bit more inviting for a child because it's a bigger screen. It's something very interactive for them with games. But like, I feel like once you start giving them like a cell phone, that just starts taking it to another level, you know? I don't know. It's pretty much like a giant cell phone minus the texting, you know, feature. But what are they doing with shit like that anyway?
I don't know what's worse, really. Yeah, because like if they have they're basically getting the kids getting their own phone, especially a smartphone, is like.
I remember like it was fucking hard for us to even get it as a teenager. That was like a privilege to get it as a teenager.
Oh, I didn't have my own phone until I was 21, I think. And then even like when my parents had a cell phone, I'd have to like borrow theirs when I was going out with my friends and shit. And then all of my friends would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna give my girlfriend your parents' number, so that she can call while we're out and like, you know, see where we're at." So like I'd always be getting, you know, or everybody would be calling my parents' cell phone even when I got it back to them.
Oh, really? Nah, it wasn't like that. I definitely had my own cell phone when I was like 16.
And you were in high school?
Shoot, I fucking dropped out by then. I fucking dropped out of high school when I was 16. I was like, fuck this shit, I'm going to college.
You're like, I'm getting myself a phone, I'm gonna go to college.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I was like, fuck these people. I'm doing grown shit.
Hey, hell yeah. Then I guess you needed a phone. Yeah. I remember playing Snake on my phone. Do you remember Snake?
Oh, God.
It was just a simple, not even 8-bit, like 4-bit, 2-bit game. Like it was just a black on the yellow screen, you know.
Snake and the Pong-like game.
I think they did. Yeah. I didn't play that much though.
It was kind of like Breaker, like the Breaker game where you have like the little pallet and it bounces off, kind of like Pong would, but like you have to hit the bricks.
Yeah. Well, that was on the first iPod that I got, like in 2006 or something like that.
I never really fucked with iPods too much. I pretty much held on to like burning CDs the longest I could.
Well, I got an iPod and then it broke real quick, so I was back on burning CDs all the time within like, by 2007. I was back on burning CDs to 2008 to 2009, then I got another iPod.
I even had an iPod Touch at one point.
I don't like those.
And that shit broke within a year.
The only reason I don't like that is because you gotta like, I guess it's like listening to music on your phone too. Like with the regular iPhone, you can just go, alright, I know how to go forward, back, pause, you know, like you can actually feel it. Whereas the Touch, you have to pull it out, swipe it, you know, do the thing. Like you can't just like blindly push and you know.
Yeah, I never really went in that hard with that stuff because I don't really like keeping headphones on my head too much. I think that's why. I really don't. I can't stand.
Man, I love it. I mean, there's times where like I don't want to, but it's just like that's how I experience an album a lot of the times. Like just to hear every bit of it, you know, to like hear it like right up in your ears, you know, on the surround of it, you know.
You know, that's great. I just can't stand it. I get claustrophobic. I feel trapped, you know, like I feel caged in.
Wow.
I can't do it for too long.
Do you go to shows? Like, do you feel that way at shows? Concerts?
No, because it's not something strapped on my head. It's like I don't like having stuff like covering my ears too much. It just kind of weirds me out. I'm just finally starting to let my hair go past my ear, you know. Like I was the kid that always like tucked their hair behind their ear. Like, I'm just, like, a weirdo about that shit. It's kind of like the same way about sunglasses. Like, I really have to...
I don't like sunglasses either.
Yeah, I feel contained with that. But, you know, sometimes it is necessary. Like, it's a really bright-ass day, and I would love to wear a pair. But, like, some days I'm like, why the fuck am I having to wear this shit? It's okay. I could do without.
I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of a weird accessory. Actually, I bought some that I liked, and I lost them because I've never bought any sunglasses. And then, like, I just put them down and left them because I'm not used to, like, picking them back up.
I can't do that. And the same reason with whenever someone tried to get me to use one of those Bluetooth headsets when they first came out. This is when Razors were fancy.
Oh, those are cool.
You remember? And then, like, I bought one and I tried it out, and, like, even that made me feel fucking trapped. I was like, I can't do that. You know, I'd rather put somebody on speakerphone.
Yeah, well, I didn't like it because, like, well, of course, I've heard this observation forever, you know, but you think someone's talking to you, you know, when they're on that. So it's just odd because I think your voice, you know, projects out, whereas even when you're like this, it somehow bounces back to you to where you can sort of just tell someone's not talking to you when they're behind you and they have their actual phone in front of their face, you know.
Yeah. But usually when people, they abuse it when they use the Bluetooth, for sure. Because, like, usually it's supposed to be for, like, some scenario, like, let's say that you need to talk to a client and you need to type some shit in, you know, in a work environment. These people are just, like, fucking wearing to the grocery store, you know, just walking around at times where they don't even have to be, you know, like, having a headset. You know, they got free hand to really talk. You know, they shouldn't.
Well, you can tell those dudes is the ones that wear it when it's not on. Like, the ones that wear it when they're not even on a convo. Like, they just have it as the accessory on their face. Like, that's, I'm always like, wow, okay.
But what they should be doing is just putting it on, you know, crazy people, like schizophrenics who talk to themselves so they look less crazy.
No, there's like some schizophrenics that are using it, and
they should.
And you're like, oh no, they're not crazy. They're just on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's my answer to problems.
It's funny you mentioned the Razor. I was thinking about just recently about how much I used to hate texting. Like, I really used to hate texting because it would always take so long, like to type, you know, go 1, 2, 3, you know, and then you have to go to S, you know, whatever. And then it would take so long to do it, and then there was too much room for miscommunication. When you'd, like, send it. And then there were times, and I remember this too, thinking about the Razor, you'd send like 4 or 5 and they wouldn't go through, or someone would send 4 or 5 to you and then they'd come in like 3 hours later at once. You know, all these ones that were either responding to you, like, or it was just really, really frustrating. I hated it. So then I remember when people had iPhones or even Blackberries, I was like, man, dude, that'd be awesome.
Are boring to me. I wasn't into the whole Blackberry craze. It just looked like some boring ass shit.
I just wanted the keypad just to be able to actually text and actually, like, say what you want to say.
But that's what the sidekicks were for.
Yeah, I remember those had it. That
was more of a fun phone.
Some of the Palm Pilots, didn't they have it? Or they had some sort of thing like that?
we talked about the Palm Pilots.
Oh, did we already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Looping back around.
Those are good.
The first smartphone, sort of.
Kinda. But I only had the last one from them, so it was like me. I didn't get into that until, like, the end.
I wish, like, phones are always, I'm always late on technology for the most part. Like, I'm always, like, wishing I had a certain thing. So, like, that, even Blackberries, I wanted that. iPhone, I wanted that.
Wait, you know?
Yeah, that's, I got the old iPad. Now I got the old iPad.
Like, you'll never catch me be one of those assholes waiting in line for an iPhone. Like, I will never wait in line for an iPhone. I'm sorry.
I can't even think of something
like... If it's sold out, then it's just not meant to be.
There's this movie, House of the Devil. I watched it last night.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's this movie. It's by this guy named Ty West.
Okay.
It's a horror movie in the style of, like, 80s, like 70s, 80s. And it's done really, really well. Like, the fanned hair and, like, the way they shot it.
What's the premise? Is it, like, B-rated?
It's like a B movie. Like, it's this girl who's, like, supposed to be babysitting and taking care of this house. And it's on an eclipse. And it builds on suspense. That's another thing that reminded me of old movies. Like, there's not too much gore or, like, too many, like, jump scares or anything like that. Like, it sort of builds and builds and builds. Which I think people could probably think it's boring in that way.
Yeah.
But just the music, the hair, like, the zoom, like, which they don't do anymore, like, the fonts that they use, like, they pause the last image of the movie and have the credits go up over that, which they used to do a lot in, like, older movies. There's a lot of like little stuff. It was really fun to watch.
I like Student Bodies when it came to like 80s B horror. I think that was probably like
I
the
know that.
best one.
Oh man.
Like the cover, I think she has like
Yeah,
a megaphone stabbed into her ear on a desk.
I'm
But
thinking
Student
of
Bodies is a classic.
now I'm trying to look at that. I'm thinking of Prom Night. But I know
Prom
that's
Night
not
was
it.
great. Summer Camp. That was another one.
Hold on.
All the summer camps.
I never saw any of them actually, which is surprising because I try to, pride myself on seeing a lot of horror movies. I don't think I ever saw Student Bodies either, although this was at the old video store I used to go to.
Oh yeah. But see?
13 and a half murders,
Yeah.
1,423 laughs.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like that one. That's classic. And also, feel free, to hit us up on Higher Learning Channel if you have any, like, horror movie suggestions for us, if you guys want us to talk about it. Feel free to go onto the helpline. It doesn't have to be a helpline question. If you have any suggestions, just hit us up. Or, got any opinions on stuff, on horror movies that we probably don't know about.
Yeah,
let us
there's
know.
definitely a lot that I don't know about, and it seems like there's a bunch more that started coming out in the last like 10 years. Like I feel like there's been a huge wave of like direct-to-video web release or like way low budget sort of horror movies.
I love Italian B horror.
Oh, me too.
Oh
a
my
lot.
God, I love it. Because, like, they incorporate, like, sexploitation with it, and, like, that whole era is almost, like, borderline pornographic. You definitely got to see a lot more tits than you did in, like, American horror movies.
Well, it had a different vibe. Like, it was like, they had a
It's, like,
more
Nude for Satan.
No, I never saw that, but I can see the cover right now. It's got the red font, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nude for Satan was the fucking gem. I like that one. Yeah, what was it? There was another one with the nuns. There was, like, all these nuns, and they were getting naked, also.
Naked Nuns.
Was it Naked Nuns?
I'm just joking.
Dude, I really would not be surprised if it was.
Nunchuck.
But
No,
it was kind of like the same premise. I think, like, one of my favorite scenes was, like, the scene that involved, like, a spider, and then she was getting murked by this spider. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, see, and you know what's funny is, like, so then I say I like horror movie, but God, there's so many I haven't seen. Like, even this now, I'm already feeling like I haven't seen a lot of them, but I do watch a lot of them.
And I'm somebody that doesn't claim horror as a passion.
Yeah, you were saying that in
which is
another
hilarious. Like, I don't really claim horror as a passion, but I know that. Oh, okay, but the name of the film I'm talking about is Killer Nun. Check it out. That's another one that's a gem. I love it.
I like Lucio Fulci. Lucio.
Isn't you know that actress Asia Argento?
Yeah.
I think her father was like
Dario Argento.
Yeah, he was. Didn't he do
horror?
Was it erotic horror or horror?
Some of it was, but it's so funny because like they did a lot. Like I always thought he did demons, but he didn't do demons. I don't think so. There's a lot where it was like produced by him or produced by Lucio Fulci, and it's like somebody else though.
Yeah.
Dario Argento did Zombie, I think. Oh, shit, I'm gonna start talking out of my ass.
I had the biggest fucking girl crush on Asia Argento.
Suspiria. He did
Suspiria.
that one. I never watched Inferno.
He did quite a lot.
Yeah, he did a lot, and some of them aren't that good.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you're probably gonna not have some ones that are.
But he's one of the ones I've watched a lot of them, just because I like the gore that he does. The Goblin was, I don't know if it's a band or if it's one guy, but he did a lot of soundtracks for like Italian horror movies.
And then there was this other weird film.
I haven't seen any of the new ones.
There's this other old weird film. Like, who is that guy? He did On the Mountain. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I didn't know that one.
He did all these other films that were super weird.
Dario Argento
I think,
did
like,
do
La Sangria,
demons.
Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah, he did El Topo.
Yeah,
and
he did a whole bunch of other films.
Did he? I thought he only had like 2 or 3.
No way. No, I think he even came out with something. Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Holy Mountain.
Yes, Holy Mountain. That's the one I was talking. God.
It was funded by John Lennon.
And you knew this.
Once you told me his name.
Well, I mean, I was
thinking
talking
El
about
Topo,
something
and I was
mountain.
thinking, what was it?
I was even talking about.
Hey, if you would have
Something
said,
Mountain.
if you would have told me
foreign
if you would have
director.
just told me the plot, I could have told you. That's a joke too, because the plot's really kind of crazy to even describe.
There's like no plot.
Well, I think it's like, isn't it like some holy guy says that something's happening over there, and then
the
he
Dance of
sends
Reality.
the man.
He just did that in 2013.
Whoa, okay.
Boom.
Well, how many other ones did he have? I didn't know.
And
He
he
was
also
doing
has
anything.
Santa Sangre. That's the other one that I was talking about. I was like, oh, something sangria or something. So Santa Sangre, that's the one that involves the transsexual inside that one for sure.
That's really crazy. I did not know he had this many films.
Fondo and Lis, The Severed Heads, The Rainbow Thief. That's the guy.
Hey, yeah, I haven't seen Holy Mountain since like 2007, but I remember I liked it, and I remember it was a lot more visual. I mean, El Topo is really visually, strong too, but I haven't really watched it. But that other one kept me in it just from how crazy the visuals were.
Yeah.
But I feel like, isn't there a dude who's like on a quest to find something? Like they always have him walking or climbing or like looking, and he's wearing like a little Jesus diaper looking.
There's a lot of things that go on in his films. There's always that religion. There's always like this weird fucking religious reoccurrence in all his films.
I wonder if that one had the biggest budget. I mean, I'm sure you could find it.
Most well known. That and I feel like that and Santa Sangre is both of them are like that. They're probably, my opinion, I think is two of the most well known films that he did.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's like visually inspired certain other films.
I really recommend it, especially if you're listening to this podcast and you're probably a stoner or probably some movie nut that wants to get weird. Especially if you want to be getting weird, definitely check this guy out.
Very strong imagery.
It'll hit you in the face. And also, not bad, especially if you're like a creative yourself, you want to play a movie in the background. I know a lot of people like to do that when they draw or paint or write, just to get the theme of a certain mood going. That's like, I totally stand by that. That's a really good one. I remember whenever I was back out in LA, I used to hit up Amoeba. And Amoeba is like the fucking glory haven for like weird film to find and run into, especially if you just want something purely for visuals.
I went to the one in San Francisco, and
that's the OG
I had
one.
I played with my emotions because I was like, holy shit, it was like great, right? And then of course I was like, wow, I have like $10 on me. This is great. So I didn't buy anything, but they had so much stuff. And then okay, after looking through all the vinyl and looking through the CDs and finding CDs I never would have been able to find, and then finding like vinyl of albums that I love that I've never seen on vinyl. It's cool to see like the larger artwork, After spending like 2 hours, and I just turn, and then there's the movie section after that. I'm like, oh shit, this place doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So like there was a bunch of cool shit. I ended up just writing it down. So like I don't even think I was downloading things at the time, but it's really awesome. I really like Amoeba.
Yeah, it's great.
I didn't buy anything. That sucks.
It's better than like going on any website or any blog review. It's just like you don't have to have someone tell you what they think is cool about it. Sometimes like there's something so magical about just personally being inside the store and like looking at the covers and skimming over it, and it's something that you can't really replace. Like I don't really care about what this fucking hipster asshole has to say about this film. How about like I look at the fucking cover or read about what the premise is or see what it's about and let me figure it out for myself. That's what I kind of miss about going.
Sometimes it's like cool because you get to know the people working there, and then they could give a recommendation to you
or some weird shit that they like. Like
I do feel lucky though that like I got to be a part of. Even though I never worked at a record store, but I got to like experience going to one. Like, because I feel like Amoeba is a somewhat unique case. Like, there's not too many.
It's a special place, and I hope that place stays open forever. Really
video
do.
stores is another one I'm glad I got to experience, like that thing of like going to the video store and like knowing the staff. And
it's like way less creepy too than like Netflix monitoring your fucking movies and making shitty ass fucking recommendations.
Yeah, I saw. God,
like, what
I was
the
using
fuck
someone
were you
else's.
thinking? Like, I was like, why did you think that this was okay? This is not what I want to watch.
It was that House of the Devil, and like I was using someone else's, and it brought up other horror movies, but I was like, man, that's nothing like this. Like, I would not recommend that horror movie if you like this
they're
one.
like horrible recommendations, you know, or
I think it's just like I think they just it's some computer thing where they just say, oh, they haven't watched this yet, and it's a horror movie. Their recommendation.
And then usually like whoever, you know, writes a review on some sort of like well-published blog or whatever or magazine, you know, they usually end up doing those reviews because that's who's promoting and has incentive to give them, you know, to write that review about that movie, you know, or place it on a higher level. You know, there's not that many good critics that aren't like semi-advertising.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean,
You
but
know?
I don't think in the movies that they decide to give a good review to.
Yeah.
I think it's more like, I mean, there definitely have been like ads.
Like if you were to like look up a list of like, oh, let me see what the top these types of movies are, and then they give you like a list. Usually those are like lists based on sales. It's almost like
I mean,
picking,
sometimes
like
there's some reviewers that like are way more mainstream, and you can like it's almost you wonder if they even watched anything that wasn't at AMC, you know, that wasn't at like the at Lowe's, you know, whatever, like at the biggest
like the
name
top 40
ones.
charts of like movies, you know.
But then there's some that actually like watch a bunch, and you know, or there's some reviewers where like it seems like all they ever give is like that's usually the ones that do the top 40 type shit. All they ever give is like good reviews.
Yeah.
And if it's bad, they don't really ever review it, or they may give like one bad one here and there. I like ones that trash most things because it's funnier to hear someone tear down a multi-million-dollar project, which actually even the lower budget ones are multi-million-dollar projects now. Anyway, like major Hollywood projects than it is to hear someone tear down like lower budget ones, which
like
kind of
Dallas
goes against what I was
Buyers
just
Club.
saying.
That was crazy low budget. They didn't even break 6 figures to make that film.
No way. I don't believe that.
No, really. Like, they put their own money into that shit. I think that was a very low budget film.
I don't believe that. I really don't.
I heard
I think it cost probably 6 figures just to get Matthew McConaughey to
No,
talk.
he didn't. It was like I think like was it his brother or one of his friends was the director to that film, and it was kind of like more.
He had nude photos of Matthew. He said, "Listen, you're gonna work in this, so we're gonna put these on."
No,
Reddit.
I think you know that's what actors like to do. Is just you know when you do, you know, a high grossing movie, you have that type of money to play around and actually do more artistic films. You know, I mean, there's so many actors that do that, like Leonardo DiCaprio. What the budget for the film? How much? Let me see. What?
Well, but Leonardo DiCaprio did what? He put some into it. Well, because sometimes the studio.
He did a fucking film that he doesn't want anybody to see.
Oh well, wait a minute.
Do you
From
know
the
which
'90s.
one? Yeah, you know what
Well,
I'm talking
but
about.
that was it. It's on YouTube where you can watch it.
Yeah, but did you see it?
But it's him just talking shit. That's pretty much why, right? Or not? That's not all of it, but that's the reason. Like he's talking some just wild shit.
The budget. Oh, they put their own money into the film. That's what I was. Because, whatchamacallit, I was watching Kevin Smith's Spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were interviewing the director. And I think they were talking about
I mean, I'm sure a lot of directors do put their own money into it. Oh, what? Terminator 3, the whole scene where they have the crane going through the... Arnold, like, funded the whole action scene. Like, just that one scene, but it ended up being, like, you know, $1 million, I guess. I have no idea.
something really crazy.
Yeah. A lot of filmmakers, I feel like, on their first films, if they have them, like, they end up funding a lot of it. Even if it is backed by someone. Which, that's the funny thing now, too. I wonder, do people actually, like... Maybe I'm not watching a lot of them. Maybe I'm not even aware of it. But, like, do people actually make a film and then... Like, it totally independently make a film and then that gets picked up by a studio? I mean, I know it has happened. Like, what's her name? Lena Dunham? But she was already way connected, I feel like. Her Tiny Furniture? She had some movie... But, like, I know that she did it before, like, a studio bought it. I guess they all are like that. But I feel like they have funding from somebody. You know, they find funding in some sort of way.
Oh, this is why I think that... Okay, check it out. It says, Matthew McConaughey was at the crossroads in late 2008. He had just received an offer for $15 million against 15% of the back end to star in a Universal and Imagine's big screen Magnum P.I., but the actor who first made the impression in Dazed and Confused and A Time to Kill was coming off in a list of overwhelming big studio movies: Sahara, Fool's Gold, Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. After grossing more than $100 million domestically with rom-com How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days 5 years earlier, McConaughey couldn't even break $60K in a friend's indie project, Surfer Dude. Failure to launch Indeed, so he did what most actors in his position would think of the unimaginable. He turned down the $15 million. So it was definitely way less of a budget. So he could do this film for Dallas Buyers Club.
Magnum P.I. was giving him the $15 million?
It says McConaughey was offered the Dallas part in 2010, and according to sources, he received only an upfront fee in the low six figures, under $200K.
Okay. So he didn't take as much of a payday as he normally does.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, I guess it has to be in the mil range.
Yeah, that's Matthew.
But that's Matthew McConaughey, though. Like, that's crazy that he only took, like, under
I'm not gonna
200K.
I won't step on set unless there's $100K at least waiting for me.
I mean, that's a really low paycheck for him. You know, considering he's probably used to grabbing millions.
I pissed that in a day.
He like turns down $15 million for $200K.
Well, it was a Magnum P.I. remake.
Yeah, that's kinda,
like it's almost like, do you want your career, like, you have to think about, and Dallas Buyers Club was like, you know, a dramatic thing. Like, I could almost see that a mile away which one was going to be. And he did have a bad run, like Sahara. I'll Lose a Guy in 10 Days. There was another one they mentioned that was real Surfer Dude. You know, and then he had a string of good ones, which was Dallas Buyers Club, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Killer Joe, True Detective.
That's what it was.
There's been like some knockouts recently when he had like a string of bad ones.
Yeah. So people are gonna think that I'm obsessed with Dallas Buyers Club and like Matthew McConaughey as much as I like talking about him. And
he's cool to talk about. Let's talk about him.
In True Detective, I think we already talked about Matthew McConaughey.
Dora Lang.
In
Carcos.
Especially in yeah, because I talked about fucking how hot he was in the beginning of True Detective.
Yes, yeah, you did. His suits, like, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember because I said, "Oh, you liked it when he had long hair and like the mustache and shit."
Yeah.
And I think he said, "Yeah, I love him."
No. That makes me moist. Oh, Matt, you're making me so moist.
Talking about Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
Moisty bits.
I was just looking up. He was born in New Valley. He was born near where I was born. Matthew
Moisty Bits McConaughey. Yum.
MM. I think he just had a kid too.
Yeah, his fucking wife is a babe also.
And he's been hitting home runs recently.
All kinds of home runs. I mean, good for him. I always liked him.
Have you listened to any of these new Gucci Mane tapes?
Nah.
Neither have I.
Cause like the last stuff that he dropped as Guwap, I was kind of disappointed.
Put you to sleep.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I think jail time did something, or I don't know. But I don't know. He kind of fell off. But I mean, I'm still staying with my whole testament for Troy Ave and Freddie Gibbs.
I don't think I've ever listened to either of them.
Really?
Unless, did Freddie Gibbs put out something with somebody else
Madlib?
recently? Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard some of that.
That was awesome. And then, but it's great because considering that it wasn't that long ago before before the Cocaine Pinata album, he did ESGN, and ESGN sounds like a completely different album. It's awesome. Like, it's just so much harder. It's a lot more gangster. It kind of sounds like a marriage between, like, old Scarface and Tupac.
Is that a mixtape or is it an album? Coast.
No, that's an album.
Okay. So lots of features in there, too, a lot of them?
Yeah, not a whole lot of features in that album, but, you know, it was fucking awesome. Like, I really liked it, and then I liked how much it changed, you know, from that to, you know, Cocaine Pinata, where I kind of felt like I was listening to, like, old, like, Jay Dilla type of era of hip-hop, which is awesome. And then, like, I like Troy Ave because he's totally, like, young 50 Cent all the way. And I feel like he's really bringing back New York hip-hop, for sure.
It's funny hearing that Freddie Gibbs Madlib tape just got me to think, oh shit, Madlib's great. Let me go listen to more Madlib, like from old shit. Like I stayed on it for like 10 minutes and then like just listening to Blowing in the Bomb Shelter.
Yeah. No, I watched his DJ set before Freddie went on stage, and that was the shit.
Oh, where? Here in New York?
Yeah, he played here in New York.
Damn, nice. I
And
would have really liked to see
sold out
that.
show.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would have paid. I mean, it sounds bad.
$35.
Yeah, I wouldn't have paid $35, but
Yeah, I paid
would have definitely
$35
loved to see Madlib though.
that shit, and it was worth it. I liked it.
I'm gonna go see Currency actually, coming soon. I don't know.
shook
It's
his
22nd,
hand.
I think.
I shook his hand.
Hey.
I saw him on the street. I was like, "Oh my god, I love your shit, man." I love you.
But right out here?
It was in New York somewhere. He was just hanging outside of a club I was walking out of.
Cool.
In front of his car. It was a
I
pretty nice car.
was worried because I was thinking, man, I don't know, like, I know he mostly does, like, chill, there's some chill shit, doesn't really get too hyped, his songs and shit, so I was like, I don't know, and he smokes a lot, everybody smokes a lot, I don't know if it's gonna be too...
he's chill.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I don't know, is it gonna be a boring show? Is it gonna be a sleepy show?
Nah. He's just,
That's what I was at,
he's not a hype man, Well,
that's what I mean, like, that's what I was thinking. It might be a boring show. Like,
It
I mean,
depends
some
on
of it's
the
cool to vibe
energy.
out to.
Yeah,
But
it depends on the energy. If he's got the vibe, he's got the vibe,
I asked someone else that, and they were like, nah, like, usually he has, like, a real strong fan base, they're real Jet Life. They're really about that. And so, like, you'll get hyped because everybody knows.
I hashtag my shit with Jet Life sometimes, too. Like, Jet Life.
Yeah, it's like a thing, but, like, I guess he has, like, a solid fan base that always comes out to see him. So, like, people are, like, always singing along, which will usually get you hyped. And, like, usually people have got some crazy bud. Everybody's got mad weed.
Of course.
And it's a lot more just like interjet. Like he's not just him on stage. So yeah, that's what I'm a lot more open to it now. Like at first I was like, man, I don't know if I should have got tickets for this. It's gonna be some sleepy shit. I'm gonna wish I was just at home smoking.
Yeah.
But not. All right.
Good.
Well, not. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He is good. I like his work ethic. I love his vibe. I love his flow. I love like not catching shit and then coming back later and catching shit. I love the work ethic,
I even remember when I first listened to Currency. I don't know if you remember it, but he was on that song with Lil Wayne, Where the Cash At, with Raw Digga.
Yeah, it was on Dedication. Well, I mean, it was probably on something else too, but it was on the first Dedication, I think.
Yeah.
Hey. Or was the second one?
That was the first time I listened to him.
Yeah, I didn't like him at first, actually. Even when I heard him
I
on
liked
this
him
stuff.
then. I
always
kind of liked him.
It was like, I don't want to say mush mouth. It was like slurry almost. It sounded like, and I didn't like it. It took me a while to get into.
Yeah, you gotta develop into your own shit. But I still liked it. He still had good energy. I like the way he did. Did you listen to that fucking new shit from Busta Rhymes and Eminem?
Nah, but who's going faster? Who's rapping faster?
Dude, all I know
I haven't even heard it.
Like, I don't know what they were going for. I guess it was like supposed to be like a battle type of song.
Uh-oh.
I guess that's what's kind of like a battle song, because like it's not really something you could really move to. It's not like, I don't feel like it's gonna be like a club banger.
Well, I feel like a lot of recent Eminem, and I mean, it feels like it's been awkward, even though I haven't really listened to it. I've never really been a fan of Eminem. I just got into like his old shit maybe like 2 years ago, and
Like
it was great.
his old shit, like I liked it when I was in high school.
I didn't.
For a second, from that like what first and second album he
That was
did.
like 99,
it was all right.
I think.
Yeah, it was all right. But I didn't explore that anymore. No, it was even before 99. I was listening to him in 97.
Infinity?
In 97 is when I
Was
first
that
listened.
his
I think it was
first
like
album?
97, wasn't it?
It
Yeah,
was Infinity?
97. And then but no, and then Busta Rhymes is obviously Busta Rhymes. He hasn't like changed a bit. I personally was like really disappointed with their stacks inside the song. It just was like so repetitive. Like just it was just so repetitive. Like there wasn't like a change up on the flow of like the way they were doing their bars, Like it's just like, and this is kind of boring to listen to. It wasn't like a great song. I know fucking Trey Songz has got the fucking awesome club banger out right now. Like I really like what Trey Songz with Na 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 Na.
No, I don't know that one. I still just know Trey Songz from.
He kind of rips like Lauryn Hill a little bit from Ooh La La La.
Oh no, he goes oh na na na.
Yeah, he kind of does that.
I don't like that.
I wonder.
He was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Who?
Trey Songz.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
It was not very good.
But he did that. I'm really sick of Robin Thicke trying to get his fucking wife back.
Hey, I didn't know that was his wife. This is so funny. I didn't know that was his wife.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she was in Ride Along.
Dude, are you serious? Let me see. Check this out.
But you know what I'm wondering is how is the label letting him do this?
What?
Like, isn't he calling his album Paula, Please Forgive Me? Or Paula, just Paula?
Yeah, Paula. Paula Patton is his wife.
But isn't he just calling the album Paula?
I don't want that part.
I don't understand how they're letting him make this, like, about his own personal, like, Paula, I want you back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like he should have fucking made that album before fucking pissing his wife off for her to want to leave him.
And you know what it is, right? Like, they've been together for a while. I think it's
since high school.
No shit.
They've been together since high school. They've been together for 15 years.
Well, you know what it is? He was on those VMAs or whatever the fuck it was with Miley, and shit started taking off.
You think that's what it is?
I think it's this new fame, the new girls, like the new level of girls that's approaching him from this, a more visible.
I think he's
position.
just exploiting her for, being the piece of shit he is. He's just trying to, like, fund that alimony money she's about to take from him. Like, oh, okay, she's about to take me for everything I'm worth. Let me just go ahead and make some hit songs, and I'm going to dedicate it to her. And it's probably going to piss her off even more.
But, hey,
do you think he really wants her back? Or do you think he's probably doing that to make her mad?
Well, it's the thing of, like, yes, I think he really wants her back. Yes, he'll cheat on her again.
Why would you cheat on that woman?
That's what I was thinking. But, but then I was thinking they've been together a long time. He's just getting more famous, He was probably, like, for a while, like, man, this is it. I'm not even going to do this anymore. Cut to 6 months later, and he's on the VMAs.
The dude from Green Day is still with the same wife since he married.
Yeah, but they already had, like, their rise. You know what I mean? Like,
they got married right at the rise of fame.
I guess
because he did Dookie in '94.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And then, but I think even them, like, I heard on the rumor mill that they were having, like, marriage issues. Like,
oh hell yeah, I bet you they are, or they have.
They
I
have,
don't know.
but I'm sure they're good now. Dude, his fucking son is in a band too, and apparently he's going on tour with Pennywise.
Wow, he looks like he has aged really well, or he hasn't aged at all.
He aged really awesome. I don't feel so ashamed about having a crush on Green Day when I was 12.
I've only gotten into them recently.
I'll tell you what. I still rather bang Billy Joe than his son. I seen pictures of his son. It's like 17. He's like barely legal. That's like usually
that's age of consent.
Yeah, it's age of consent. And then you would think that, like, oh yeah, younger, he could be a babe, and then you look at a picture, I'm like,
hey, sometimes the looks don't get passed down.
Just didn't really. He probably gets it from his mom more than he did Billy Joe because he doesn't have, like, the big eyes.
Maybe they have another sibling that's like.
There is a 15-year-old. It looks exactly like the mom too.
Strong genes.
Both of them. Yeah, she got some strong genes. For real.
It's been amusing me recently when you see people on the street or, like, and when you're, I was thinking, like, that there's this clan, of people that and they all look the same.
Yeah.
And, like, how you can just identify that. You're like, oh, they're brother and sister and that's the dad. Or you're like, because they all look like, one of them. But then I was thinking, like, back to childhood, like, there was always someone who, like, they all looked like exactly, their clan, their like family all looked the same.
Yeah. All right, and this goes into the portion of the Higher Learning Channel helpline.
Speaking of issues somewhat similar to Robin Thicke's current not even tantrum. It's kind of awkward, is what it is. Like, I think it's really fun. I hope it escalates. Because it's sort of a spectacular face plant in a way that's gonna happen. You're sort of watching it in slow mo.
we're all a part of the dirty laundry issues.
And I have nothing against him. It's just the fact that it's so...
I guess it's good marketing for him, though.
Yeah, I guess it is.
He's probably more popular now than he was before because of this fucking album. He probably looks like a softie to some women, and then to me, I'm suspicious. I'm always suspicious of people. Maybe it's like stoner paranoia.
Yeah. He's, I mean, I don't know anything about him at all other than that, and that's just because it's like... but it's right, you're right. It's getting him, like, it's getting him talked about.
Yeah.
On even top podcasts like this.
Speaks.
Oh yeah, on that note, again, we got the helpline going on, the Higher Learning Channel helpline.
Speaking of all of that, Higher Learning Channel helpline, if you have any issues, feel free to give us a shout. Hit us up on higherlearningchannel.com. Hit the helpline button. Feel free to ask us any type of question, especially if it comes with like relationships or friendship advice. Or even if you want to ask us about like what any kind of artistic process might be, or somebody you might want on the show, anything like that, just go ahead and hit us up on there. So I guess we're gonna get to the questions. I noticed once I went back on Facebook, I actually reactivated it recently. So if anybody wants to find me on Facebook, you can find Ginger Beast Mode. Feel free to hit me up on there. But as soon as I came back, I got hit up by so many of my dude friends. They're like,
uh-oh,
where have you been for a year? I needed so much girl advice. I got all this shit going on. So
I can imagine.
I'm not gonna call them out by name, but we could go by some of the topics that they like to bring up sometimes.
Oh, okay. You have it on there on your phone?
Well, one of my friends, he pretty much was like, he's pretty much like about 30 years old. And he's dating a girl that is 23 years old.
Okay.
And he likes her quite a lot. And he just kind of wanted to get like a rough speculation. Is that something that he would find promising with an age gap like that? I'm thinking about gaping holes, guys. So I'm sorry.
No. Well, depending on.
Well, I'm sure it's quite not gaping at 23.
Hey, you never know. Hey, it's 2014.
It's 2014. They're getting it in at 12, man.
I know. Well, that's they're looking at iPads at age 2. You know,
yeah,
like
they're probably looking at porn.
It's just a clip.
Well, then again, you know, like I looked at
8.
I looked at fucking Playboy when I was 5.
Yeah, but it's a little different when you got that video of the anal threesome.
I feel like 23 is a good age for a woman. I mean, you know, in a relationship, she's at a good age. She's still trying to figure herself out. I don't feel like a girl at 23 probably has it as figured out.
But she might though. Like that's the thing. Like I really don't know this girl.
Depends,
that's what I was gonna say.
It depends
like,
where
really
she is in her life. But you know, considering the situation, you know, she's probably like an average 23-year-old girl. And, you know, like, because I'm sure that he would have mentioned something spectacular about her if there was something like really progressive that she's doing. Like, for example, there's some 23-year-old that own like their own business, or they've got this own thing going on, or whatever situation. You know, obviously, you know, their maturity level is probably much higher than the average 23-year-old girl. But I feel like in this situation, she's probably still figuring herself out. There's still like a lot of potential with a situation like that. I feel like if it was a 30-year-old guy and a girl that was 20 years old, that's a lot of problems.
Yeah, well, that's what's also weird about like mid-20s is that some people are totally still not ready to like, I mean,
do anything.
Too. Yeah. But then some people really are, and like by that point they're ready. You know, like they know already that they want to like be with somebody and stay with that person or whatever. Or that's the intention, you know. But at least they know that they want that.
It's definitely subjective.
Yeah, and that's sort of, I know that at 20, like a lot of, rarely are people like, yeah, I want to do that. I mean, of course people are like, want to do it, but, you know, I don't think too many people really do it, and like, it's not, like, to where it's a solid thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you just have to gauge if they're, like, actually ready for that. Because I can't say, like, yeah, that's a good age. You know, most people have figured it out by then, because most people haven't figured it out by then. But then some people have. Some people know that that's one of those basic things. Some people are like, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
So.
It's subjective, but, you know, knowing his situation, you know, I would say it's going to definitely take some work because she's gonna definitely
Wait,
grow even more into a person.
Was he saying he's gonna ask her to marry, like, or like he wants
Well,
to take it to another level?
like, it's kind of like how serious it's gonna be, you know, kind of like a projection, you know, with the age difference. So I was like,
I don't think the age difference should come into it at all, but it is still the thing of like, is the person you're with ready to like get serious about things?
Yeah.
Like sometimes people who are like 30 aren't. You know, they could both be the same age.
I mean, considering that, I was followed with another person to send me a picture that's actually the same age. To say it's like, yo, welcome back. Where you been? Guess what? I got 2 girlfriends, and I got a picture of him in between 2 sets of titties. And I was like, no way, that's fake. Show me another pic so I know it's real. And then it was a fucking picture of 2 of the girls kissing. And I was like, oh, okay, shit's real, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, what if he was at the strip club?
No, it wasn't. It looked like it was a house. I saw the background.
Man, that's you should ask.
Dude's
for more.
doing it. I'm actually thinking about just having him on the show. I'm like, hey, let me interview you to see what your technique is to get 2 girls.
Yeah. I'm I wonder, is he really close
girls.
with one of them, and then like the other one's the girlfriend of the other one, or like are they both like?
Yeah.
Just sort of, or are they all 3 sort of like? Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So
Where
it's
is
a potential
that? What city is he
potential
in?
guess. He likes to travel all over. Honestly, he likes to
Of
go. All,
course.
I think at one time he told me he was in Macedonia. I think he's full of shit. I don't know. But if you guys want to have this guy on the show, feel free to hit us up. Push him forward.
We can talk about threesomes with this dude.
We can talk about threesomes. Let's see what the magical key is about finding a hot fun ladies. BBs.
Some crazy interactions that, you know, or yeah, I'd be curious of situations that come conflicts that come up. It's probably the same shit as a normal relationship, but just like echoed or like magnified in some sort of way.
Yeah. So another thing, all right, so
yeah,
looking through the questions, we have a question over here. It says, I am trying to visit New York, but it looks like with the hotel costs, things cost a lot of money for what it is. I'm looking to keep my finances down. I will be flying in. Do you have any advice?
it depends on how much you want to spend. I'm sure they don't want to spend that much, but like a hostel could work. Airbnb could work.
Yeah, definitely Airbnb is a great option. You know, you could always like just stay in someone's house for like a less price for more room, and then you actually get a little bit more privacy. Checkout time is probably going to be a lot more lenient, especially if the person's out of town. Or you could actually be in a weird situation where you're staying with another set of people too.
Or you're on the couch and like you're sort of in their world, you know, like in there, you don't have a room.
Another thing is like I would definitely recommend taking the subway a lot. Try to avoid all the bullshit with taking the bus top tours. You definitely want to see the city on your feet, so that's still going to save you a lot of money, especially if you're just going to walk around. Make sure you bring your walking shoes with you. Hostels, yeah, I mean, if you don't mind sharing space or going into a hostel, it's definitely going to be your cheapest bet, and even that can be kind of pricey sometimes too.
Yeah.
Don't even bother asking your friends if you could stay with them, because most likely they have no room. And don't get all offended if they can't put you up, because I mean, I don't think you understand how real it is with space issues in New York.
And why you didn't have a place to stay before you booked the flight?
Well, you know, I'm sure he's planning it out or trying to plan his finances, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
oh,
no, it didn't sound like, I don't think he actually purchased the tickets
yet. And then also for just like regular food, if you're not going to be going to like all the bougie restaurants and you want to cut costs, I would say bodega sandwiches. They're usually like $4.50, especially if you're in Brooklyn, or $3.50.
Pizza too, just a
pizza,
slice,
$1 slice pizza. Falafel sandwiches are mad cheap too. So
which it's funny because New York is one of those spots you can like burn all your money in one day, like not even one day, like half a day if you wanted to, like not even like without even trying, you know.
Yeah.
But
try to stay away from East Bronx, not East Bronx, but East Brooklyn. and then all the way up on the Bronx. Because there ain't shit over there. I did a photo shoot over there one time, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm on location. I got a little bit of time. Let me go get myself a little coffee. No bodegas.
What?
Yeah, no bodegas. I had to walk, like, 6 blocks to get the shittiest coffee ever.
I mean, that happens in Brooklyn sometimes.
No,
there's coffee shops everywhere.
There's coffee shops everywhere in Brooklyn.
Wait. What I meant was you go through 6 blocks of coffee shops, but to get to another bodega, you can't find bodegas sometimes.
Yeah, but there isn't shit.
That's crazy.
It was like
That's
all
scary.
industrial.
I wonder. I'm showing my. We're showing our. New York ignorance somewhat of not. But you've been there. I've never been out there.
I've been there to see it with my own eyes. I seen it.
I've been really curious about Maspeth, Queens, like where there's no subway. Like the subway doesn't go there. Like I feel like a lot of I'm sure that a lot of people use the bus, but it's just I know it's a whole other way of. It's a whole other place, probably.
Oh god.
And I want to go to Staten Island too because it's probably surreal to be like.
I've been to Staten Island for that show with Jay Miller.
I went right up on I got out. I've been to Staten Island, but I didn't go deep into it.
Oh, I only got to see that much when I did the show, and then I also went out there to do some fucking weird fetish video.
Oh.
Time, yeah, that was fucking weird.
Was it at a mansion with a gate?
No, it was some weird fucking porn setup. But,
wow.
I wasn't doing anything pornographic, and, my badge wasn't all out or anything. There was none of that going on.
Was that going on in front of you? Or none of it was going on anywhere like that?
No. But it just reminded me, I was in, some weird, cheesy, porn setup. Just the way the lighting was, the setup, everything about it. And then, So
it wasn't, intense and scary? It was, cheesy?
No, it was just cheesy
to
me. And I hated it.
Was that someone's house?
I fucking hustled it. Yeah, I think it was someone's house. The guy who does this fetish site or whatever. Apparently, it's really good money. I mean, you pretty much on a porn site, not doing porn.
Shaolin Slave, Volume 1.
I mean, it was easy, $400.
Hey, fuck yeah.
For not really doing that much of anything, So it's not bad. But yeah, I was also out there for that show with Jay Miller. He did a birthday episode, which I'm sure I'm going to share on the blog. Feel free to check those links out. Jay Miller is hopefully another potential guest that we might have on the show. Check out that show. See how you like him. If you like him, just give us some feedback.
Wait, who is he?
He's a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he does public access on Staten Island. I was on the show with Chris Gethard from Upright Citizens Brigade.
Okay, that name's a little more familiar.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you're pretty familiar with podcasts, you probably know about the Nerdist, and Chris Gethard's actually been on some shit with Nerdist as well. He'd probably be the dream guest to get. I would love to have Chris Gethard on the show. He's awesome. But Mid-Evenings with Jay Miller, check it out on YouTube. Mid-Evenings with Ginzilla, that's also the episode if you just want to Google it or look more into it. And he's also on Twitter. Holler at him. He would love it.
I guess it's going to be crazy to have because they're going to be all sober as fuck and then, crystal clear and we're going to be high. The high host.
But
oh my God.
But no, it's a good balance because he's a very spastic guy.
I know he's gonna be running circles around us.
That's okay. I'm gonna need to be high for that shit.
No, that's cool. I'll be more alert actually because I'm very high this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, we are the Higher Learning channel.
Yeah, I know. I try to use moderation, but I smoked before I got here too.
Yeah.
So
it's all good.
I was a little pre-blown.
Pre-blown. It's okay. It's pre-gaming.
Yeah.
Good idea. I've just been working on a lot of shit right now. Just trying to get this book laid out, having book layout drama. Pre-production, post-production is
you have a title?
Gonna be the bane of my existence. I'm not gonna announce it yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't want anyone to steal my shit. But be on the lookout. Hopefully I'll get this shit done soon. I also found out that I'm in Clear Nude magazine on spring 2014. That's also available on Amazon.
Is it an American magazine?
Yes, and
Okay.
that was the shoot that I did with Rekha Niari, and it was with the Geisha series. So it's gonna be like a full black and white nude magazine. Feel free to look it up. Clear Nude Magazine, Spring 2014, Volume 2. Make sure you look at that. I also posted a link on my Instagram, Akama Suicide, and you can also find me on Facebook. I posted a link on there as well, Ginger Beast Mode. Check me out.
All right, and that concludes this episode of the Higher Learning Channel podcast. I'm Matthew Sire. You can find me. You can find my contact info and me on higherlearningchannel.com.
Fucks with us on Twitter. Peace out, guys.